This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, Errol the True Spence going what? Bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter part what? 49. Hear me and hear me well. We about to get up in it, man. Listen, folks, we're gonna talk about Timothy Knothead Ass Bradley. Why is this dude sitting here and constantly keeping Errol the True Spence name in his mouth? Let me say that again. Why is he constantly keeping Errol the True Spence name in his mouth? Errol the True Spence don't care about you, man. He's not even concerned about you. If anything, you're a speck on the wall for this dude, man. He's not focusing on you. Every time you get a chance, every time a mic comes in your face, you always want to get slide to the mouth and talk about it. Now you come out your mouth and say, I'm tired of talking about Spence. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of, promoting Spence. Negro, with your knothead and bullet head self, man. Ain't nobody worried about you promoting Spence. Spence is a machine by himself. He doesn't need you to promote him. You say that again. Spence is a machine by himself. He don't need you to promote him. He can promote his damn self. So why do you think Errol the True Spence needs you to promote him? What are you talking about? You talking about Spence versus Crawford? That fight is going to sell itself. Let me say that again. Spence versus Crawford, that fight will sell itself. See, here's the thing that these classic dotes and these troglodytes don't understand. That fight will be too soon if it's not for Undisputed. Let me say that again. That fight will be too soon if it's not for Undisputed. So why does Errol the True Spence need to put the cart before the horse? Let me say that again. Why does he need to put the cart before the horse? It makes absolutely no sense. This is an undisputed fight at 147. And these ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, the Terrence Bud Crawford fanboy man crushes, they are going to be right there to watch the fight when it happens in 2020. If anything, the fight is going to be so much more sellable that we're talking about pay-per-view numbers of anywhere between 700K or better. Let me say it again. Pay-per-view numbers of 700K or better. So if you do the fight right now, you taking food off of the plate of Errol the True Spence and you taking food off of the plate of Terrence Bud Crawford. There's more fights that Bud can have. Instead of fighting Green Mean Machine. Let me say it again. Green Mean Machine. Why don't he fight a real litmus test at 147 and fight Kel Special K Brook? This is the guy that's been calling him out. This is the guy that wants that smoke. He's a big ass dude. It'll let us know if Bud has the power. Because if he could drop Kel Brook, people will be impressed by that and they'll say, okay, Bud is the real deal. But when you're sitting here fighting a one-legged Jose Benavidez, a 5-year past his prime Amir Khan, and a lame duck Jeff Horn, nobody's going to give you credibility for that. And then prior to that, 140, a Victor Postel. Get the fuck out of here, man. Indongo. Who the fuck is that? And Gamboa. That was your only credible fight. And even in that fight, you got the stinky leg. So don't get me started. Indongo hit Terrence Bud Crawford with 2 body shots and the man shelled up. He went like this. He had his tongue hanging out. So if he did that, then you already know what Errol the True Spence gonna do to him, man. Imagine if those body shots were technically placed by Errol the True Spence. What do you think the totality of the damage that took place with that is going to happen for Terrence Bud Crawford? So you folks got to understand, you dodo heads, you brain full of mushroom, you brainwash followers. Don't let Timothy Knothead Ass Bradley, aka Bullet Head, propagate this nonsense. The only thing that was credible out of his mouth is when he talked about the super duper hype job Teofimo Lopez. Let me say it again. The only thing credible out of his mouth is when he talked about the super duper hype job Teofimo Lopez. But everything you said about Errol the True Spence is false. Because Errol the True Spence, last time I checked, wanted that work. And then you, quote unquote, in the media, found a way to mismanage the time and said, oh, I was fighting Manny Pacquiao. But when we digged a little deeper, you already had fought Manny Pacquiao. So the WBC ordered this fight after the Manny Pacquiao fight. So what are you talking about, man? Only brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo heads fall for that nonsense. You retired because you knew Errol the True Spence was going to retire your knothead, aka bullet head ass self. So, higgity fucking hush, dude. Nobody got time to hear what this nonsense that you talking about. If anything, people are tired of your ass. Nobody want to hear from you. Go right back into that hole you crawled out of and higgity fucking hush, man. Now on to Shawn Constipated Porter. Listen, man. I don't care who you sparring. Demetrius Andrade, David Benavidez, they don't even go full bore with you. This guy's so confused on who he's sparring that he's thinking that if he's sparring these guys that are active, that are going to be fighting, right? First of all, here's the thing. Demetrius Andrade is not a good sparring partner for Shawn Porter. Why? Because he's an active fighter. He's not going to go 100% with Shawn Porter because he's not going to risk injuries. And then you have David Benavidez. This dude right here is damn sure not going to go 100% with you because he's fighting under the same card as you. So whatever work you get with him is not going to be comparable with the work that you actually get with Errol the True Spence. If anything, David Benavidez is using you just to bust a sweat. Let me say it again. He's using you to bust a sweat. You're thinking you're getting good work, but in actuality, you're not because you're just sparring a big dude. When has David Benavidez style ever matched Errol the True Spence style? When has Demetrius Andrade style ever matched Errol the True Spence style? When you bring somebody in sparring, right? In training camp, they need to mimic the style. So that's not called good work to me. That's called wasted work. Let me say that again because this needs to marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Hear me and hear me well. That's not called good work. It's called wasted work because you need to bring in a sparring partner that mimics the fighters you're going to fight. This is why Errol the True Spence brought in Jose Borrego. You guys got to do your research on this dude. This dude is an up-and-coming talent. That was good work right there. Similar style to Shawn Constipated Porter, but even more talented with it. Let me say that again. Similar style to Shawn Constipated Porter in terms of pressuring and smothering, but more talented with it. Go look at his record. Go look at his KOs. He actually knows how to finish his opponents. He's not constipated in his boxing style. This is what you call good work. This is what you call credible work. This is what you call necessary work when you're fighting a specific type of fighter. These people are sitting here, these classic dolts and these troglodytes coming in my comment section saying, well, Demetrius Andrade, he's a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he a southpaw, he's a very talented fighter. No one discredited any of that. And I know y'all like to say his last name is Andrade. Demetrius Andrade. That's what I hear. See, that's the thing with people in the English vocabulary, right? Americans, we like to butcher people's names. Well, if you do the research, the real spelling of his name is Andrade. See, I like to spell things the right way because his last name is not an English last name. So do your research on that. But anyways, Demetrius Andrade is nothing like Errol the True Spence. Errol the True Spence is a guy that fights in a very systematic way of tactically placing his punches, having that tactical aggression and that body snatching work. Demetrius Andrade doesn't fight that way. He's a very awkward fighter that's talented, that knows how to throw his punches, but he does it in a very comfortable fashion. He likes to beat you in the distance. And sometimes he likes to trade it up. But he's not a very pressurized type of fighter. He doesn't fight on the front foot a lot. Now, he has his moments in fights where he goes in the front foot, but he's mostly a back foot fighter. How can somebody like that prepare you for training camp? David Benavidez, he's a KO specialist, man. This guy does not put relentless pressure on you. What he does is he likes to set up his KOs with his jab because he has the reach and the size advantage against people. This is how he knocks people out. He's not a constant pressure. He's not an accumulation of punches, pressure type of fighter. So again, wasted sparring work. That's not credible, folks. This is why I know come September 28th, Shawn Constipated Porter is getting what? Bulldozed by Errol the True Spence. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.